Welcome to Failure to Stop's Last Call Political News, all the news to keep you in the know as a first responder. This has been probably one of the top 10 craziest weeks in a long time for me. A lot have happened. Absolutely catastrophic events have taken place. Following this episode, I'm headed out to Asheville. We spent all day yesterday tracking down 1,000 body bags. I know that the media has put out about 100 dead. It's around 400 to 500 just in Asheville and another 100 in Lake Norman. They just haven't identified bodies. And so all efforts are headed out that way. We'll be headed out there right after that. Also, our event, October 18th and 19th, starting on Monday, Cancel Woke Culture has come after us, the Fox Media Podcast Network. They have come after this big event that we have by Anti-Hero Podcast, October 18th and 19th. You know, we're all going to be there. It made USA Today news. And we did a YouTube video on FAWKES News to explain the whole thing. The show goes on. The comedy show goes on. Let me be very clear before I start today's show. Failure to Stop, Fox Media Network now, Failure to Stop podcast, all the podcasts. We are a very naturally and organically diverse network. We didn't try. We never once said, you know what? We want to have some black people, so we're only going to hire a black person. We never said we need more women. Like, just naturally for this event, it just so happened to be this. We didn't even try to make it happen. But we have two black comedians. One is a female conservative. The other one is a black male Democrat. The third comedian is myself, who's more libertarian than anything, even though it's, a little fringe there. But we also have a female publicist. We also have Navy SEAL. We have Silver Star recipients going to be there. We have Rangers that are going to be there. We have 11 influencers. 4 of them are persons of color. We have a gay MC for the entire 2 days. A gay man MC, no thing. So I don't know how much to call us a far right wing festival. And you're going to go on the grounds of we believe in diversity and inclusion. Our statement to USA Today, I'm very proud of the team. And for Tyler being the ultimate leader of this, having the balls to not say no comment, but to say, no, we are a diverse festival. We literally are including one of the bands playing at our Pro Cop PTSD festival. Their last album cover is them wearing a cutoff shirt. Their head man wearing a cutoff shirt that says, fuck the police or ACAB on it. We don't care. We don't care that they're the one of the punk bands is like the head man is a professed communist. We can get along with everybody. Like I can't think of a more diverse and inclusive way to do things. We just don't need to have the clout. We don't need the social credit score over here at Fox Media to say, look at us, look how diverse we are. But you on the left, the woke mob, the evergreen terraces, and the record labels who are pussies that pulled out of our event and then tried to blast us for it and make it look like that they're cashing on their social credit score. It's absolutely absurd. All on the heels of my children having to compete in an event that allowed a 32-year-old trans man, veteran of the Navy with 3 kids, who won $5,000 in Virginia Beach against women, who won $5,000 in Montreal against women, who won another couple of thousand, I think it was like 10,000 in Detroit at a Red Bull con, that this man could skate against 2 10-year-old females, a 13-year-old female, and a 20-year-old female to win. All of this is happening. And then, of course, we have the just tragedy that is happening in our state here, coupled with the big strike, the big port strike that's going on right now, which is going to, I'm not being hyperbolic, guys. This port strike is going to cripple everyone if they don't get for every day that this strike is in, it sets our economy back 5 days. If this thing lasts for 10 days, this will be the most expensive Christmas you have ever seen. And already I said this, if you follow FAWKES News, which is our YouTube channel that we've created for just short news format with receipts, without the emotions. And we show you we just get right to it. 9-10 minutes each segment, right to what the news is, and not what mainstream media is telling you, but what the actual receipts show. We reference everything in the show notes too, so that you can have your hands on this. I said on there that if you need to start buying some of your Christmas presents now, not all of them, but some of them, some of the ones that come from China. If you guys are wanting to buy a new TV, a new game system, Legos, anything comes from China, right? Maybe right now we buy a couple of those items now while they're still cheap. If you want to go ahead and start stocking up on toilet paper, I'm not saying be a hoarder and buy all of it, but buy 4 rolls today, buy 4 or 5 rolls the next day, whatever it takes. Last night, as early as I said this yesterday morning, last night, trending number like 19 on Twitter was Costco starting to limit hoarders from buying up all the things in preparation for the strike. Guys, I don't goof around here. I know I'm loosey goosey sometimes, and it's hard to. I'm a stand up comedian, and I like to be funny and things, but I don't give you news irresponsibly. I wake up and I try to be objective, and I say, what's fair to you? Not for clicks, not for clout. And maybe that's why I'm not as successful as a lot of the other folks out there. But I try to be as responsible in this as I can, so that you're making really good decisions that I'm helping you. And listen, if you're making those decisions because I said so and you're not doing any other research, I mean, thanks for the faith, but just know that I am a C- student at best, and I could be wrong. But I will show you how I got to the conclusion that I got, and you can take the same trail that I got, and maybe you have another perspective that you can add. And that's why I'm always encouraged by your comments, your private messages, to say, hey, Eric, I see that this string of evidence led you to this, but let me show you one other piece of evidence that you didn't see that might throw a wrench in this whole thing. And if you follow this long enough and you followed our case breakdowns long enough, you'll see that sometimes that happens. Whereas maybe you started off in these case breakdowns where you're like, that cop is totally wrong. But then I tell you, or I show you, excited delirium, or I show you some kind of other thing that you never even knew existed. And you're like, oh, well, now it makes sense. Or I show you a policy, or I show you an FBI tactic that you're like, I didn't realize that was the policy or how things worked. Right. But I give you guys this information, and I try to be, in my heart of hearts, as responsible as I can. I don't give you this information to receive clips. Find me a hyperbolic title. Even though those get the most clips, I don't believe in misleading you. And I am a man of principle, and I am not a man of business, which is probably why I'm not overtly all that it's success. Now, listen, I have a wonderful house, wonderful property, 5 kids. I do just fine. I make plenty of a living. I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining, and I'm not bragging to you. But what I'm saying is I don't make hundreds of thousands of followers. I don't have, I'm not Tim Pool. I'm not any of these other guys. I'm not accusing them of anything. But what I'm saying is that I am a man of principle, and I've never been a man of business, which means my principles are worth more than the dollar, which is why we lost the other network when we did our Uvalde thing, because Mike and I were men of principle. And I learned that from Mike. Mike said, Eric, are you a man of business, or are you a man of principle? Because if you're a man of principle, the decision is very easy. But if you are a man of business, then yeah, maybe you need to start asking some questions. And in that moment, in that conversation, however many years ago it was, I said, I want to be a man of principle. I'm happy with what I have. I don't need to be rich, and I don't need to be famous. I don't really want to be any of those things. I enjoy entertaining you, and I enjoy comedy, and I enjoy everything I'm doing, and everything I have in my life is fine. I don't have the desire to have the fancy boats. I don't have any of that stuff. I have my 5 awesome children and my 1 beautiful wife, my home, my acres of land that I'm not subject to any homeowners association fees. And that's what's most important to me. So I'm happy. So I want to know that, like, when I put this stuff out there, guys, if I say this is what I would do, I say it based on the evidence and not hyperbolic behavior. And it looks like I'm actually right on this one, because trending number 19 was this. I also told you guys that starting in July, the ramping up for the election was going to be something that you've never seen before. I told you guys that we were on the brink of World War III. I said that because of all of the research, because I didn't focus on what mainstream media was feeding me, and I focused on the bigger picture. And I didn't go on TikToks. I'm on TikTok maybe once a week. And that's mainly to make a post. And sometimes I get sucked in. I don't get my information from there. I get my information. I told you where I get my information. I listen to places like Breaking Points, which is a very leftist news organization, but they're very fair. I listen to Skynet News Australia to see what the hyperbolic side of the of Australia has to say about it. I listen to Indian news from the Indian news. I reference all of these constantly. That's where I get all my information from, so many different sources. And I possibly, when I do that, what I get to see is this very broad map, this very broad picture of what's going on. And then I can actually kind of predict what's going on from there. I told you that Iran was gearing up to fire, that they were going to retaliate on Israel. I said it was going to happen. I didn't say it might happen. I said it's going to happen. All these things are happening. So what I'm telling you guys is that if you don't have trusted news sources, you don't have time. A lot of you don't, because you're first responders. A lot of you don't have time to look through all these news. There are people like myself. There are people like Russell Brand, even. I mean, there are people like Breaking Points, Crystal and Sagar, guys like Tim Pool, but again, you have to take these things with a grain of salt. You have to know who you're listening to. But if you don't want to take the time to bounce around and you just want to see what somebody has gathered from all of that and made their own independent decision on the matter, then that's what I'm here for. That's what I'm here for. That is what you're getting from me. Maybe the audio is not perfect. Maybe the video is not perfect. But you can rest assured that what you're getting from me is genuine. It is from my heart. And it is responsible. And it is in good faith. I urge you not to freak out and go buy up yourself, but I urge you to not let your car below a 3/4 tank of gas. Because gas prices are only going to go up for the next couple of weeks. So get it now while it's a little cheaper. Save yourself some money. Get your toilet paper. No, this isn't pre-recorded. Bosco Autry, are you kidding me? This is live, baby. I would never put a live stream if it was pre-recorded, and I would always say it's pre-recorded. I hope you guys know that. But appreciate you guys being in the chat. Corn Pop, Tactical Dude, Nightkin. I am leaving right at the end of this though to Asheville, so maybe that's where you got confused there. No, this is live, and then you guys come first. So David J says, anyone buying bulk baby oil? No, and some of the news is fun, and I hope you guys know that when I'm giving my opinion, it's obvious I'm giving my opinion versus what. But I'm telling you guys now, this is going to be a very expensive Christmas holiday season, which isn't the end of the world. But prepare yourselves mentally, prepare your family, explain this to your children that what we're going through. World War III is going to happen. All of this is on the heels of they cannot let Donald Trump be successful as the president. The COVID was manufactured. It was a manufactured incident. I believe in my heart of hearts at this point, with all the evidence that I see now, that it was to thwart Donald Trump, and they allowed these things to happen, and they were hyperbolic for it for a reason. To get you guys scared, to just make it miserable, to punish us Americans. That's what I believe. If you don't like that, if you don't believe it, okay, I'm just telling you that's what I believe. And I believe that the war that they're causing now is allowed to happen. I believe that the strike that is going on now is they're allowing to happen. And all of this is to thwart an election, to undermine you, the people. And it's only going to get worse. And I hope now that I can say that responsibly, because I think we've all seen enough evidence that has led to this. Let me go start. If you don't know about this strike, this guy is unhinged. I get it. This was the end of his interview. You can go to FAWKES News and watch all the parts of the interview, so you can watch it in its totality. But this is what this guy is saying. I don't agree with it totally, but I'm not going to get in the weeds here on whether the unions are good or bad, or progress should happen or not happen. I'd love to hear what you guys think about that, though, because that's fun, right? It's a fun debate to have. If you guys think that the unions are good, listen, if you are in charge of a union and you have been put in charge of saving jobs, saving guys' jobs, and these are decisions you have to make, right? These guys are going to lose jobs to automation. They have, and I don't say it's right or wrong, or that's the decision I would make. Again, I'm a man of principle and not a man of business. So I would like to make things on what is best for my men and for the nation that I live in, because country first, God, country, and then, my fellow friends. So, that would be a tough position to be in. I want to hear your opinions, but I'm not going to get lost in the weeds in explaining my opinions. You can go to FAWKES News and hear that if you want. Let me play this first clip for you. Before I do that, let's have fun for just a minute. Let's bring it in and have some fun. Today's show is brought to you by ghostbed.com/Wolfpack and Factor Meals. So thankful in a time like this when everything is kind of imploding. Our event's imploding, but it's saved. Trust me, the show goes on. My state is burning down around me, which is crazy. Crazy. I had no idea the devastation until yesterday. But Ghostbed is still here. Factor Meals is still here. And we have to support people that are willing to go that distance. This is the TV series that I'm in. The show comes out Veterans Day weekend. The official trailer dropped yesterday. Watch this. It's 1 or 2 minutes long. And maybe you'll see me at the 1 minute mark of this trailer. Let me know if you see me. Are you ready? Are you ready, Wolfpack? Here we go. I'm excited for you guys to see the trailer. I'm in this. I'm a rock star. I'm a movie star.
Here to pick up my DD-214 and become a civilian.
In the military, they say that 10 minutes early is on time, and on time is late.
The newest member of the Gas Dog family, Joe Hauser!
Team at Gasoline Dog Media hired me right out of the military, and I want to prove I am worth the risk.
I hate him.
Hate him! I hate him.
Just a constant nuisance.
Moron thinks he can step to me.
Kind of feels like the Army.
You didn't succeed in the Army by being like other people. You embraced what you were good at and you doubled down on it. That is what made you an exceptional soldier.
You're a jumper in the door of a C-130, baby, and that mission's coming.
This kite will keep us going for the rest of the year. I want a campaign.
So you're trying to take out a meme page?
We just really need the money.
It looks like old Gasoline Dog is really circling the drain.
It may seem like a cute little media company from the outside, but from the inside, it's a festering sore.
I had a bunch of new coworkers who are all a little insane and would never hang out with each other under any other circumstances than this job.
I get dumber and dumber every year.
I don't know where they're finding, bro.
We pay them barely over minimum wage.
Oh, I love that.
Yes.
I'm sure that everything is different in the military.
They don't get my jokes. They don't get me. No one's in danger. No one's dying.
What you're experiencing is no different than what every veteran goes through.
I can't believe you had the audacity to even come at me.
Ninjas were the special operations of their time.
You've turned in the uniform, but you're still carrying around that invisible rucksack.
So I need to remember what it was like to be a new sergeant?
Lead them, Joe.
You guys talk a big game. You never deliver. It's not about me. It's about each other.
We want to crush flies. We want to destroy them. We want to go to their homes, insult the thief.
That's the literal definition of a war crime.
This is ridiculous. You're not going to get away with this.
You're hot or cold, hot or cold. You're hot.
This is a Benedict Arnold.
Brutus stabbing Caesar.
Am I afraid of being sunk to the bottom of the ocean? Fuel always floats to the top.
It's survival of the fittest, Lucius.
And we're the fit.
You know what? Maybe it's not so bad here.
Yeah.
The growing calls across the nation to defund the police.
To end policing as we know it.
Off the charts violence in New York City. 11 people shot in just 8 hours on
Sunday. This is
Sunday.
about the police officers who every single day put on that uniform and they run towards danger when we run away from it.
Guts up, giddy up. Welcome to Last Call, guys. Love every single one of you in the chats. Nightkin saying heartfelt thanks. Tactical Dude saying heartfelt thanks. Corn Pop, Bosco Autry going for through a crazy time. If you guys are friends with Bosco Autry on the Facebooks, YouTubes, give the guy some kind words. He's going through some shit right now. Bosco, I wanted to respond to your text immediately, man, but I didn't want to just give you a generic response in text. I wanted to take my time with it and send something heartfelt. But if you ask Josh, if you ask Jonathan Bates, I have been on the phone. I was in a legal read meeting yesterday for 3.5 hours while trying to track down 1,000 body bags and some morgue trucks. And I have literally, my son's 10th birthday was yesterday. I'm putting out these fires with USA Today and every single mainstream rock metal band thing, trying to find new bands. I have a comedy show on Friday in Farmville, North Carolina that I have to write a whole new script for because of the audience there and what type of audience it is. So I just, please know that I love you and I saw your message and I want to respond to you guys. And it's just been, I personally just need some help, guys. I need some help. So Maybe you guys see some comments that I haven't responded to on YouTube, on Fox Media. Maybe there's some I have not responded to a lot of stuff. So maybe you guys can create kind of some discourse there and help me fill in the gaps, because Daddy Tansy, the big transy Tansy, needs help. By the way, I'm not trans. Just some people think because of my mullet that I'm transy. I used to have long hair on this show. So for those of you who are just jumping in, not being an asshole, but a lot of people thought maybe I look like a wish.com Ellen DeGeneres. I like to think I look like a wish.com kind of without the shakes Michael J. Fox. You know what I mean? Or maybe what's the guy from The Mummy? Brandon Fraser? Like a less fat, like a young Brendan Fraser. Yeah. Anyway. Okay. So there we go, guys. Thanks for being in the chat. So big super chat, 27 bones from Nijkin. Somebody else, Tactical Dude, threw on 25 bones. Tactical Dude, that super chat is all going to go to the Tactical Dude. That $25 is going to go to our boy in New Jersey who was acquitted of a justified police shooting, and then indicted by a new very liberal DA on a shoot that is 100% justified. And I think if you put 50 cops in a room and gave them the same shoot no shoot scenario, all 50 of them would shoot. That's usually kind of how I base on is something reasonable or not reasonable. And very rarely do I say all 50 would shoot. I think in that scenario, all 50 would shoot. But he is without a job right now. I mean, it's absolutely terrible what's happening to him and his family. So all the money that we make from super chats for the next time being will be going to help him. And, obviously we can't help everyone. So I am giving my personal time to Asheville, and I'm putting your personal dollars over to this family over here. So appreciate you guys. And then, of course, all the money we raise from our festival October 18th is all going to PTSD mental illness fund, non 501c3 nonprofit there. So, all right, let's jump into this strike. Josh, how are you doing this morning? You got in your new house. You're in the new studio. Good to see you again. Sorry for all the work that you've had to do that I have just kind of put on you without being overtly thankful. I'm kind of been like Ellen DeGeneres, where I'm like, where's my coffee? Where's my spreadsheet? Where's line 1? Where's set 3? Peasant, you piece of shit. I'm just kidding. I'm not mean, am I? Am I ever mean? No. Do my texts come across disrespectful sometimes?
No.
Sometimes I'll say shit like pull that, and then I'll be like, man, I could have said that a little nicer.
Yeah,
you be honest. You're in front of the wolf pack. You can be honest.
It's quick, gets the answer, gets me what I need to do. Can you pull that? Yeah, I can. Because you need an answer. If I can pull that, then it's a Josh thing. Or if I can't pull that, I need to get John involved because Josh is a piece of shit today and he can't pull it for me.
Yeah, we have like 7 podcasts on this network now. 2 Cops, 1 Donut, Donut Shop podcast, Anti-Hero podcast, Fox News. We have Failure to Stop with all the shows that run under Failure to Stop. So we, there's a lot that goes on in the day-to-day to make this train run, and couldn't do it without you and John and everybody else. So I just want to make sure that I'm giving my blessings and gratitude. No, I'm not fucking like one of those guys. I didn't like take an ayahuasca trip and like all of a sudden like I'm thanking the energy stones from above and doing my 10 gracious thought. Like if that's you, that's fine. I'm not that guy. But sometimes I do feel like gratitude and doing all those things. It is good. There is some science behind it. I am a man of faith, just I'm not into the stones and moons and you know what I mean? The people that talk like this with their hands, the moons and I woke up and I gave my gratitude because the Mercury stars aligned. Look, there's a lot of you that are out there that are like that, not making fun of you, just kind of like making fun of you, just like you make fun of me doing Brazilian jiu-jitsu and how gay that can be from time to time. I'm allowed to stab back. So Nigel says he'd like to thank his kidney stone, right? Like what fucking moon aligns for us to have kidney stones, I'm so gracious for my fucking kidney stone, let me play this hyperbolic speech from the union leader, old Harold Daggett, which if you're a conspiracy person, I like to entertain conspiracies. My lawyer, Jay Daggett, was that look it up for me really quick. True Grit, Maggie's lawyer in True Grit. What was his name? I know his last name was Daggett, and I believe his middle name was Jay, but I could be wrong.
David Lipton.
Type in lawyer Daggett. Maggie Type in True Grit Lawyer Daggett. What you got?
It just says Lawyer Daggett. Doesn't have a first name.
No, she fucking says, my lawyer, Simon J. Daggett. And he was like, who is this? Lawyer Daggett. Great argument. Anyway, I don't know. Kind of funny this guy has the same kind of name. But
J. Noble Daggett?
J. Noble Daggett. And this union dude's name is Harold J. Daggett. Now, if I was going to start a conspiracy, I needed to make up some names, and I happen to be a John Wayne fan, I might, like a Harold J. Daggett might be pretty fucking bad. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? I don't believe it. I'm just saying, what if? And we're allowed to do that. We still have freedom of speech, and it is fun. It's fun. Just like some people collect Pokemon cards. I like to entertain fucking, so don't tell me that entertaining conspiracies is gay when you're out collecting fucking Charmanders, okay? Fair. Shout out Charmander.
Did our businesses, like the supply chain, because I live on the Chesapeake Bay and all the ships were just waiting on the other side.
Let me explain something to you. These people today don't know what a strike is.
Right.
When my men hit the streets from Maine to Texas, every single port will lock down. You know what's going to happen? I'll tell you. First week, be all over the news every night, boom, boom. Second week, guys who sell cars can't sell cars because the cars ain't coming in off the ships. They get laid off. Third week, malls start closing down. They can't get the goods from China. They can't sell clothes. They can't do this. Everything in the United States comes on a ship. They go out of business. Construction workers get laid off because the materials aren't coming in. The steel's not coming in. The lumber's not coming in. They lose their job. Everybody's hating the longshoremen now because now they realize how important our jobs are. Now I have the president screaming at me, I'm putting a Taft-Hartley on you. Go ahead. Taft-Hartley means I have to go back to work for 90 days. That's a cooling off period. Do you think when I go back for 90 days, those men are going to go to work on that pier? It's going to cost the company's money to pay their salaries. Well, they went from 30 moves an hour maybe to 8. They're going to be like this. Who's going to win here in the long run? You're better off sitting down and let's get a contract and let's move on with this world. And in today's world, I'll cripple you. I will cripple you, and you have no idea what that means. Nobody does.
Now you can laugh at that and you can have your opinion on that, but that's like, I know what's real deal. That guy's not fucking around. That's real. Like, I like it and you might think it sounds very Soprano-ish. That's what fucking reality sounds like. That dude had no hesitation. Like, that was not a threat. That was an all-out warning. I will fucking cripple you. You don't have to agree with it. You could think he's an evil person, but you better take that fucking seriously. Because in today's world, that motherfucker will cripple you. I'm not even joking. I don't mean like on fisticuffs or, like a battling duel. So I don't want you like, oh man, I'll fucking lay that guy down, bro. Oh, fucking, I bet you his draw is slow as shit. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like this dude has power. He has 83,000 people on strike right now. That's real fucking power, Josh. That's real power.
Joke's on him. I'm already crippled. I'll add a conspiracy theory to this. You cause a problem so you can create a solution. We're in election season. This is not an October surprise. Like, how many surprises happened in the last 48 hours? We're 2 days into October and we're not even like full. That's 36 hours. Like, I don't know. I'm holding my reservations on this one just because for weeks we've been leading up to this and no one's really been talking about it. People have been talking about it. It's been in the news. It just hasn't been in the mainstream news. This guy's been talking about this for weeks, that if this doesn't happen, we're going to be on strike. If this doesn't happen, we're going to be on strike. So just like Kyle Rittenhouse being a guest for Shell Shock, we knew this was coming. It's not like this was a surprise or something like that. Now, the surprise I have is he mentioned that the president's calling him. So why is the president calling him?
I have another clip. I have another clip. You go ahead and keep talking. I'll pull another clip for you real fast. Where he actually talks about what he talked to the president about. Right here.
This is my last question. Do you think the threat of the strike is they can understand the significance of that based on the recent things that have happened, like our Key Bridge, we're from Maryland, our Key Bridge collapsing and it just stopping all the ships from being able to deliver?
I'm glad you brought that up, because I would like to tell you something.
Okay.
When that bridge fell, my longshoremen are on this side of the bridge, no work, no salaries. Biden called me up on the phone, President Biden. Harold, I got the money to build a new bridge. I go, oh. What about my longshoremen? It's out of work now. They didn't cause no problem. Well, he goes, I got the money for building a new bridge and getting the bridge that's in the water out of there. I ask you one more time, President, what about the men whose families now have no money coming in? Well, if there was an explosion on a ship, maybe I can get the money. Listen, you're supposed to be a friend of the ILA. You came to me when you wanted the AFL CIO backing. I got it for you. You called me in the kitchen, you thanked me 1,000,000 times. I'm telling you, my members need help. Well, let me see what I can do. In politics, that means you're not getting it, okay? I opened up a fund with management after the first pandemic. Let me see how much money's in that fund. I called them up, and he called me back. It's $300 million. Wow, are you kidding me? We put $300 million in there? Yeah. Well, I'd like to take some money out of there and pay for those families in Baltimore. Well, Harold, it's only for pandemic. Well, what about we get your lawyers and my lawyers, and any disaster, nature disaster, whatever, we can draw from it. I have no problem as long as the lawyers work it out. They worked it out in one day. It cost me $1.2 million every week to pay for their families. Plus, they were allowed to go to unemployment. And it's over now. They're back working. The ships are going in and out.
So yeah, there you go. Kind of another look into this. Now, some people are saying like, wow, Cupcakes and Cameo says all the time for them to pull this shit, though. There are already thousands of people out of supplies and hundreds of people missing and dead in Appalachian, and they wanted to cut this even more. They were planning this strike like 6 months ago for October. Like they have been negotiating for 6 months. And I don't know what the negotiations more or less like from the research that I've done and listening to the union leaders. And again, there's so many things I have to research. I'm not a subject matter expert. If you are a subject matter expert in this and you want to come on the show, hit me up, message. I will do FAWKES Fox News on our YouTube channel. Go over there and like and subscribe. It's a brand new channel where I do these where I do segments like this, FAWKES News, and I'll bring you on as a subject matter expert. We can have a discussion about it. But from the research I have done, it seems the strike is more about the automation, and they are scared that they're losing jobs due to automation and AI and like kind of like the self-checkout lines are kind of getting rid of all the Walmart employees, and the toll roads are now all run by Sun passes, and that's a lot of union jobs that are going away. So this guy's job in life is to save jobs, and so I get that. But he planned this strike for October 1st, knowing that that's within 30 something days of the election. So I don't think that they planned it to be at the time. They didn't know a hurricane was going to come, and I'm not going to go that far. But this is absolutely a political move, and they absolutely chose the time and the place. And it just so happens that on the same time that the strike starts in the first day, and people are going to start to try to panic, that we send thousands of rockets or 180 rockets into Israel as a really beautiful distraction, and all leading up to the strike, because nobody knew about the strike until yesterday, except me and a few other people that are really into the news. A lot of people didn't see the strike coming. They weren't paying attention to it because they were all sucked in on the Diddy thing. And, I get it, right? It's not sexy. This strike will hit you in the pockets harder than any strike of your lifetime. This will affect your day-to-day more than when the air traffic controllers went on strike, because if you don't fly around and you're not, if you're not, on planes all the time, it really didn't really affect you all that much. I mean, you didn't really see the effects. I mean, I'm sure that if you looked under a microscope, you can see where it did affect you, but you didn't feel it It's like that earthquake. Like it happened, but you didn't really like feel it. You know what I'm saying? It's not like the East Palestine railroad strike. You didn't really hit your pockets all that much. Not enough for you to be like, Jesus, this sucks. This one is going to directly impact your holiday season, and you are going to feel the effects. There is produce currently rotting on those docks. So produce, bananas, lettuce, asparagus, all these little things, these produces are going to go up. Meat and beef coming from Texas all the way around to Boston, Massachusetts, skyrocketing prices. It's not going to go there. Now it's going to have to go from Texas to LA all the way around. Meat's going to go bad. Meat's going to get expensive. Gas prices are going to go up because of all of this. There are a lot of things that are happening. I say Black Friday is going to be a very Black Friday. All of your goods from China are going to go way up. Think about it. Legos, you're going to buy your kids some Legos. That's something that easy. Whereas Legos are already expensive, but now instead of $21 for your little Lego pirate ship, it's going to be $41. Your $39 box of limes are going to be $130 boxes of limes. That's what happened during COVID. You're directly going to feel this. So I would say there is a playlist on FAWKES News where I will be doing segments almost daily, keeping up with this strike and where we're at on the strike. And it is something you should have on your radar. If anything, is to know how much you should be preparing and what you should be buying and what you should be doing. Anyway, I'd love to hear your YouTube comments on what you think about the strike. I know it sucks. Unions, there's a lot of controversy, but at the end of the day, this guy does have the power and he is using that leverage power. And I don't know. I don't know if it's on Kamala's side of things. I don't know if it's Trump on that. I've heard both arguments. I don't know. And I haven't gotten there yet, but what I do know is I am going to cover it day to day. I think it's something that everybody should be paying attention to. We ready to move on to the next topic, Josh, or what?
Yeah. The only thing just to wrap it up, the question that I have is he petitioned to Biden asked for his support. He got all the support and he supported Biden to get elected. My question is he still on that ticket that he wants to be a part of that? Or is he finally getting a taste of what the rest of the country is like? Hey, maybe this wasn't the right thing to do. These people aren't the ones that need to be in charge because they sold us on one thing and what we have is completely different. Almost like we don't have any troops in the Middle East except the troops that were in the Middle East that were returning fire yesterday.
Cupcake is someone from the Appalachians. I can say that the government is already. I was going to say, if you're there, Cupcakes, I will be there probably in the next 3 hours. So as soon as the show's over, I will be heading up to the Appalachians. Got a call early this morning, and there are some people that are in need of evacuations and help in evacuations, and so we're going to go and try to do what we can and see what we can get into. Wasn't planning on it. Didn't really want to do it. Wasn't putting on the schedule, but when a guy calls you and says, this is what we got, can you come help? It would be a real dick move for me to say no. I'm a healthy, fit 40-year-old man, so I have zero excuses to go, which is exactly what my wife said. So we're going, baby. If you know of anybody, we're going to head to Asheville. So just on the outskirts of Asheville, there's some houses that are up on some mountains that nobody's been able to get in contact with. So we're going to go up there and just make sure that they're okay and that they're not in need of assistance, and just going to kind of go, because these houses are so spread out. They're not neighborhoods. A lot of houses up there in the mountains, down in the valleys, that people haven't gotten to yet. And their roads are washed out. They can't get in and out. And so just, we've got a little territory. We're going to head in there and see who's there and what they need, and what it's going to take to get their roads either back together, or they need medical assistance. Maybe they need some water, something like that. So we've got some assets that we're working with out there that we're going to link up with to pass on that information and get people what they need. So, anywho, very strange time and not good for anybody. Prepare for it now. Give your kids a talking to now. Let them explain it. Don't let them be confused. I sat my 11, 9, and 6-year-old down yesterday, or day before yesterday. I did it the night before the first. So I said, hey, listen, there's a strike coming. This is what a strike is. This is what it means. And what it means is that Christmas, I don't want you guys making huge Christmas lists right now, because Daddy doesn't know if there's going to be a lot of there's a war going on, there's a hurricane, there's people who need stuff. I was very empathetic. So maybe you do the same thing with your kids. That way they're not like kind of blindsided by all this. And I think we do need to teach our kids about world events and what it means to sacrifice, right? There is no joy without sacrifice. We're going to jump into the next topic, which is 130 plus rockets before I went to bed fired into Israel. Very timely, very, and it's hard for me to get on board with this because I hate Hamas. But I hated even more that all my leftist friends that absolutely hated Dick Cheney and hated Bush and, sided on the side of peace and everything like that. Now that the left is creating the war, they're now 100% not questioning it. And even if you say, you don't think there's a chance that they allowed those men to cross the border into Israel and attack all those people, like you don't think that Israel, that has like one of the most advanced kind of like CIA, one of the most advanced intel networks on the planet, you think that they didn't know? Listen, even in the early 2000s in Afghanistan, if there was a gaggle, I think that's what you call a group of Taliban, you call them a gaggle. If there was a gaggle fuck of Taliban of 10 or more, we knew which one was farting, which one was fed, not fed. I mean, the intel dump on following those two didn't do. So the fact that you got hundreds and hundreds of Hamas fighters all organizing together, come over, they absolutely fucking knew about it. And actually, there's reports now that Israeli troops, IDF troops, even said like, hey, there are people gathering on the wall and it doesn't look, and they were ignored. So if you want to have a war in the election season, and you want things to kick off in the election season, and you have to start that and kind of build it up, you would start with something, allowing something like that to happen. And we're not allowed to question. Again, I don't give a fuck about Hamas. I think they're terrible human beings. I think they are savages. And I don't believe in their religious values. And I don't believe with it. I think they're bullies. I think they're bullies to women. I think they're bullies to other religions. So I don't give a shit if they get wiped off the planet. I really don't, frankly. But don't act holier than now and don't come at me with that's not what's going on here, is that we created a war for political purposes and to progress the industrial military complex. Whether you could justify it or not, but don't sit here and tell me that that's not what's going on, because that's exactly what's going on. I'm not saying I disagree with it, okay? I'm not arguing and fighting with you about it. I'm telling you that's what is happening. And if you're going to ignore that, then I can't have a conversation about anything else until you admit that this is what's going on, that this didn't have to happen. Those people didn't have to die. They did not have to allow Hamas to attack them.
Because we have, like you were saying, we have between ourselves and all the other intel agencies on the face of the earth, we know who's going to fart and which way the wind's blowing. We know we can pull your social security number off your social security card from a satellite dish on the other side of the capabilities that we have are astronomical. So to think that we don't know something's going to happen, but let's just say, just go ahead and put it out there. Let's just say we shut down the war in Afghanistan, which is funneling billions and billions of dollars. That didn't stop. We've already got the receipt that we keep giving millions, hundreds of millions of dollars to the Taliban, the people that we were fighting against, mind you. Just going to point that out there. We keep paying them after we're not even engaged with them in a war. But we have money that's being funneled through there. We don't know where it's going. They don't want to know where it's going because they don't want to know, hey, this funneling that we're going to save for this war thing over here, well, it's going to fund this thing over here in Ethiopia to find out how many kids want to go to the gender neutral bathroom. That have nothing to do with anything. These omnibus spending, we just throw the spending bust in there. Well, after Afghanistan shuts down, we don't have anything to just pack all these extra things into. So we have to have Ukraine. Ukraine, how many billions of dollars have we sent through Ukraine? And then the American people, we're not the stupidest bunch anymore. And we're able to see things as soon as social media gets to where you stop censoring stuff. We're able to see things for what they were. And the support that the government had in the beginning of the Ukraine just isn't there anymore. So you know what happens there? We have to have another thing that we try to get support for. So we'll let October 7th happen. We didn't get support there. So maybe we'll let October 1st happen a year later. We'll just keep doing this until we get the support. Then once we get the support, that's all we need. We don't need you questioning anything else. You'll keep paying your taxes and it'll go overseas and into some politician's bank so they can pay for their private security while you're dealing with someone trying to eat your cat off your front yard.
And the fact that people that follow the news and predict this The fact that I could tell you guys in June that we would be at World War III by October. I said to you, go back, pull the clips. And I say this every month. I say this every other show. Like, I told you so. I told you so. And then they make guys like me look like I'm fucking crazy, that I think I can, like, my tantrum are crazy. No, it's not crazy. I know it's going to happen because I know that you're corrupt. And I've acknowledged the fact that crazy shit happens. I don't hang on every little crazy thing that happens and say, like, yep, that's what it is. You know, they're seeding the clouds, but I know there's something there, and you have to start going down these rabbit holes. And you say, no, listen, please don't take those words and say that I think that they created a hurricane. I don't believe that. For one second, but cloud seeding is real. And if cloud seeding is real and it works, then you rest assured the Department of Defense and the CIA are going to fucking use it. So then you can start questioning whether they're using it on other things, but you have to first acknowledge that cloud seeding is right. But don't say, like, cloud seeding, hurricane, you guys are crazy, that's all bullshit. No, it's not all bullshit. Maybe the hurricane part is bullshit, but the cloud seeding is not bullshit, right? But that's what the government does, right? Like, they make you think that anybody that thinks cloud seeding is real automatically thinks that the hurricane was created by the government. And then they make you sound crazy, and then you just automatically write off and discredit anything that has to do with cloud seeding or any of that stuff. So, you got to pay attention to these things, but pay attention to this. I am leaving for in about 30 minutes to Asheville. If you guys want to, if Tyler, I believe it was, talking about their friend in Tennessee, if you want to get me more information, I'm right there on the border of Tennessee. And I have no rules. I don't belong to another government agency. I am working in cahoots with one, but I'm not employed by them. I'm not a part of their 501. I'm literally going on my own with another guy that has info. And so I can do whatever the fuck I want. So if you have somebody that needs to be checked up on, listen, it's worth it to me. I will go and check on them for your peace of mind. I mean, anything to help, I'll do. So just give me some more information, maybe DM me on the Instagrams on Eric Tanzi Official. And, if you need me to try to find an address to go check on them, I absolutely do that for the Wolfpack. 100% I would do that for you guys. We're family. Yeah. And I fucking mean it, like your family. And I will be traveling with my ghost bed pillow. I don't give a fuck. And do you think I will let any victim lay on my pillow? No, I don't care if it's your last breath. If I find somebody on their last dying breath with no pillow, they're not dying on my ghost bed pillow. Not going to happen. I don't care. That's where I draw the line. I'm tolerant. I am not that tolerant. Nobody's dying on my ghost bed pillow. Nobody's using my, like, I am taking that's how special my ghost bed. I wouldn't sacrifice my kid, not sacrificing my ghost bed pillow. It's family to me. And I am definitely not, like, I don't care if the guy I'm with right now is like, yo, we ain't got room for a pillow. I said, well, I'm not going. Get fucked. With all due respect, I'm taking my fucking ghost bed pillow. I'll leave my massage topper home because I'm not that glamorous. This is a glamping trip, but I'm not traveling. I will sacrifice food and water for my ghost bed pillow. And I'm not kidding you. I'm not being hyperbolic here. I'm not fucking joking. I am a terrible human being without my ghost bed pillow. I can survive without my ghost bed. It is very comfortable. And I sleep somewhere different every night, but I can't be so bougie, right? You know what I mean? It'd be hard to get shit done in my world if I had to have a ghost bed everywhere I went. It'd be like some real Mariah Carey shit. But I will not make an exception. I do not travel without my ghost bed pillow. Head over to ghostbed.com/Wolfpack right now while the prices are still cheap. You know, the good thing is about ghost bed is the Christmas holidays are going to suck for a lot of people. Prices are going to go up. But GhostBed's an American-made company, baby. They ain't shipping nothing nowhere. It is made in the good old USA. Right now, GhostBed pillows was $139. They're now $83. I'm telling you, this is a pillow you have never seen before. Show them some other little pictures of these things. These things have layers to them. They conform to your head. It's not like that bullshit memory foam where it's just like one block. Like, these things have cooling technologies. They have a sweat gathering pad. They have these like air things that come out. I mean, dude, these pillows are absolutely intense. I've never had anything like it, guys. It's like the first time I ever slept in 800 count plus thread Egyptian cotton sheets, like in the 90s, where I was like, oh yeah, so I'm going to, we're going to this place and they have Egyptian, like nobody knew what Egyptian cotton was. And then I slept in those sheets and I was like, now everybody sleeps on Egyptian cotton sheets, but that was new technology. And I just remember like $400 for a pair of sheets. And I bought when I joined the Army and I got my bonus in the very early 2003, I took my bonus and I bought my parents a pair of $400 Egyptian cotton sheets. one pair, and or one set, whatever you want to call it. And my parents, still to this day, my dad is blue collar to the bone, 30-something years in the United States Postal Service, worked in the shipyards before that, welding, just blue collar to the bone, baby. That motherfucker doesn't sleep on anything but Egyptian cotton sheets. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And that's what the ghost bed pillow is. Like, I think that enough people will sleep on these pillows and they'll be like, this is I like it, sleep on the bed. Like, that is the best investment you can make in your mental wellness. Like, before you spend $50,000 on fucking rehab, why don't you spend $2,000 on a ghost bed with the adjustable base and all the things and see if that fucking helps? I'm telling you, mental health starts with a good night's sleep and it ends with a healthy diet. Factormeals.com/Wolfpack50 meal planning to the next level. Start your meal planning right now. Listen, I would subscribe to Factor Meals if anything, so you don't have to brave the grocery stores and you got meals delivered fresh, never frozen, prepared in the United States, not being shipped around the country, delivered right to your door. Every Tuesday, you're going to have all your lunches, breakfast, and dinner. Do breakfast shake, do lunches. Listen, I think that's the way to go. Maybe Factor Meal, maybe it's all divine. Maybe you start your subscription now and you're really going to save some money, because I'll tell you what, the price of everything is going to go up. I don't know how it's going to work for factormeals.com, but I guarantee you they'll fight out longer than fucking Walmart does or Walgreens does. Head over to factormeals.com right now. Don't wait. Get your, what if they hold the subscription? What if they say we want to keep these prices low and we got to hold subscriptions so that we can keep the price down and we can keep supplying the guys with what we already have? I don't know. I have no idea what's going to happen in the next coming weeks. I know I know it's going to be, for worse than better. But maybe don't wait now. Head over to factormeals.com, promo code Wolfpack50, start your meal plan, get that protein heavy, get fucking jacked like Big Daddy Chains. You're doing good. Yeah. You want to get lean and mean like old fucking Skinny McGee over here with one leg. Hit that 100 or 500 calories or less per meal. All right, let's jump into the last story. Rockets exploding all over fucking Israel. World War III on the heels. Play what you got. Show me what you got. Sure. Hey.
So I don't know if you remember the presidential debate not too long ago specifically said that we don't have any troops deployed anywhere. So this clip here for sure doesn't exist.
The initial assessment is that Israel was able to successfully defend itself, of course, with the support from the U.S. And so, again, we may have more later on that. They fired approximately a dozen interceptors against the incoming Iranian missiles.
Wait, how do they fire 1,000 interceptor missiles if they're not there?
Right.
So, again, we may have more later on that. They fired approximately a dozen interceptors against the incoming Iranian missiles. We understand and support Israel's right to defend itself against Hezbollah, as we highlighted in the readout. We understand that part of that is dismantling some of the attack infrastructure that Hezbollah has built along the border. Certainly, again, we don't want to see this, broaden into a wider regional conflict, but we understand, again, that what Israel is doing are limited operations to destroy that attack infrastructure, and then enable citizens on both sides of the border to return home. We've been monitoring this for a while. Iran had been very public about its threats to retaliate, and so it's something that we've been monitoring. Certainly, this was a significant attack, probably about twice the size in terms of scope.
Yeah. So here's the other thing. We have been screaming at Iran that if you do something, we are going to slap your pee-pee so hard, you're not going to know what to do. We've done nothing.
Remember when Kamala Harris was like, don't do it. Don't do it. Who's going to make that meme? Who's going to make the meme where she's like, remember where he's like, don't you come. Don't you come. Remember Trump's like, I'm going to come.
I'm going to come. I'm going to
come. I love saying that. I'm going to come. Oh, God. I have a comedy show tomorrow. No, I don't. I have one on Friday. Friday. All right. I'm going to Asheville. I was like, geez, do I need to cancel my comedy show? This is where my brain's at, guys. Welcome to ADHD land. Okay. I'm going to come. New meme would be like, don't do it. Remember they said like, what would you think about Iran retaliating against Israel for their walkie-talkie? She's like, don't do it. Don't do it. Don't do it. Like she said it 3 times. Like, that's like Like that's how you're going to deal with our countries here. That like, that's your diplomacy. Don't do it. And now then you have those like, I'm going to fucking do it. And it's just like 130 rockets launching into Israel. Like, don't you do it? What was the, remember the video where the cop is like, it was a Key and Peele skit where he's like, Officer so-and-so, get it. He's like, stop right there. And he's like, don't you reach for that seatbelt. Don't you reach for that seatbelt. Don't you take that seatbelt off. Don't you. Okay. Don't open that door. No, don't you. You don't get out of that car. Don't get out. You stand right there. Do not punch. You know, he just goes on and on. And the guy's like doing everything. He said. Like that's where we're at right now. That's the level of diplomacy that we're at right now with fucking Granddaddy Joe, fucking vegetable soup kitchen Joe. And I hate saying that because a lot of people have family that suffers from dementia. And that sucks. Let me take that back. Let me recant it. That was my emotions speaking, and that wasn't fair or kind. I don't want to make fun of Joseph because of his, I think Joe was a bad person way before, I think since the 80s, since he was like, all the things that he's done with his family and the plagiarisms and just, I don't think he's a good human being, but I should not be making fun of his dementia. So, but you really think that Joe and Kamala have what it takes to get us through this? They don't. This is the CIA working all day long to make sure that if Trump does get into here, this is a good perspective too. All of these things happening might be because Trump is winning the polls. They consistently are lying about the polls, getting caught in their lies in the polls, putting out the FBI crime stats that we talked about that are completely bogus, getting called out for it. Maybe they know that there is a high probability that Trump could possibly win this thing, and they're going to punish us like they did the first time, where it's like, okay, well, now here you go. Here's COVID. And if you think I'm crazy for saying that they gave us COVID, they absolutely gave you fucking COVID. It was manufactured in China, and they allowed it to happen here in the United States. And then they scared you and they freaked you out, and they made it just an absolute chaotic mess for Donald Trump and for the American people. And they are doing it again now, and it's overt because we knew it was going to happen in October. We called it in October, and it's happening in October. So fuck you. You're cool. Fuck you.
Well, here's another real quick one before we get out of here. Verizon had an outage the other day.
Oh yeah. We heard a lot about that, didn't we? That was mainstream news. Everybody without Verizon, right? Wasn't it like headline news?
Nope. No one said anything.
Nobody
and Verizon
said a
still
fucking thing.
Still hasn't said anything. Because here's the thing. It's not just that the service was down. It's that it was disconnecting phones from the service. It was deregistering phones from the network. So it's not just like it was an oops-a-daisy thing. From the tech side of things, and I'm getting into where I have a familiarity, but I'm not a subject matter expert. But the only way that this happens is a malicious act. It's not like this is something that naturally happens in computing and a bug, or it's a code thing that you have to work out. That there was some malicious act upon their service and it deregistered phones off their service. So people were having a hard time even getting a hold to use Wi-Fi, to use SOS, to call 911. And no one's talking about it.
Technical dude says, well, at least they didn't blow anybody's dicks off. That pager shit was crazy. All right, last video before we get out of here.
You, Governor, you previously opposed an assault weapons ban, but it's only later in your political career did you change your position. Why?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA.
What the fuck did he just say? Hold on.
Do you want me to play it
I've
again?
become friends with school shooters. I've seen it.
Wait.
Why?
Yeah, I sat in that office with those Sandy Hook parents. I've become friends with school shooters. I've seen it. Look, the NRA, I was in.
Is this guy retarded? Why does he look retarded? There's nothing wrong with being retarded. I mean, I'm a little bit retarded, but you wouldn't want me running the fucking country.
Exactly. Geriatric Joe, I'm okay if you're going to have dementia. It's a natural process of life. It's okay. But you get in a car with him?
No.
Why are we letting him be the president right now? Why are we not enacting the 25th?
I wouldn't build Legos with him. You know what I mean? He'd fuck up. Could you imagine trying to do Legos with Joe? Oh, it'd be awful. You have to start from scratch like 1,000 times. Dude.
Let Joe get that out of your mouth. You're gonna choke. It's ice cream. I like my ice cream, like my hair on my legs.
Oh, Nico, don't fucking start with me today, Nico. Now's not the time. Are there people suffering in this world, Nico? Bombs going off, and this is what you're going to bring to my table? Fuck you, Nico the Greco. I tease, but he says, I mean, he was in the army. Fuck you, Nico. Fuck you, dude. Fuck you. Murph 530 says, late comment, but I was driving. This war with Iran was planned. First assassination attempt. The news already had an Iran planned attack on Trump that fizzled away. Yeah, I mean, 100%. You're not wrong, Murph 530. Better late than wrong. Can we say that? Is that great? Are we taking bets if he drops out of the race? No, they're not dropping out of the race. I mean, that's not a bet I would make. Not going to drop out of the race. I mean, we're 34 days, 33 days from the elections. Like, here's what's going to happen. Somebody is launching a nuke in the next 20 days.
I'd say 2 weeks.
Oh my God, Eric, that's great. Nobody's got the balls to do it. Okay. All right. I'm not saying it's going to be like one of these like global war, like global ender nukes. Here's how I think it plays out. Again, speculation here, and then I'll let you guys go. They're going to fire a fucking very localized nuke that doesn't have any like global impact. Enough for us to say we're at nuclear war. All the mainstream media will make you believe that we're in some kind of crazy nuclear war. And that's what we'll be focused on going into the election cycle, while you're ignoring what's going on with the strike, while you're ignoring what's going on in North Carolina. And that'll be that. That is my Tanstradamus prediction, is that a localized nuke will be used in the next 2 weeks, and it'll be to thwart this election. And it'll be a completely political move. We'll see who gets involved, whether it's Russia or Iran. I think it could be either or. I think Russia could localize, like use a local nuke on Ukraine, or Iran could use a local nuke on Israel. But rest assured, some shit like that's what I think is going to happen. I think it's going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't have, I just say like the way things are escalating, that's where I see it goes. Love to know your thoughts. Leave us an actual comment, not in the live chats, but leave us a comment under this video. Guys, Fox Media Company needs your help. I need your help. You want to be a part of the game. It's as easy as leaving a 5-star rating and review. It's that fucking simple. It's as easy as going over to Fox News, FAWKS News, hitting the subscribe and hitting the bell. It's as easy as following Two Cops, One Donut, Donut Shop Podcast, Anti-Hero Podcast, New York's Finest Unfiltered Podcast. Start being a part of the family. That's how you can help, because there's lots of news and information, and I want to see everybody at Shell Shock in Orlando, October 18th and 19th at the Sheraton North Hotel. I promise, if you are in the Wolfpack, I will roll the red carpet out for you. I promise I will spend tons of time with you. We will break bread together. The suds will flow together. I will make sure that you are loved and appreciated, and that you are VIP to the fullest extent that I can give you VIP. So hit me guys up, guys, from everybody here at Fox Media Network. Last call of the day. Share the short form content videos from Fox News. Share it. It can help people. And we love that you're part of the new Fox Den. The Wolfpack has joined the Fox Den. Take us out of here, Joshua.
See ya.